What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Your boy Ryan LFC back again, guys. Another top share video for you guys today. Another preview with Ryan LFC. I have a special Leeds United fans on the channel. Mr. Blake, how are you doing today, my brother?
I'm on top of the world, Ryan LFC.
Appreciate
Leeds
you taking
United, under 23 Premier League champions on our return to the league. Yes, man. Put 2-1 over Fulham, over Aston Villa Football Club. And first piece of silverware on our return to the Premier League. That's the under 23, the development squad. So all goes well for the team and the future of Leeds. And those of us long suffering Leeds fans. Been 16 long years that we've been out of the top tier of English football, and we have taken our place rightly there. We have surpassed the 40 points a few weeks ago now. That's the generally accepted sure safety mark. The 40-point ceiling. Sometimes you can stay up with 38 points, but 40 is generally accepted as you're mathematically safe. And we're now at 45 points, and we are in the first half of the league, sitting at number 10. So everything to be thankful for. And Leeds has been a breath of fresh air to the Premier League. We've come in fearless, and we, the big boys, you have a lot to be afraid of. Be very afraid, because on any given day, Leeds can really do some damage, particularly on the offensive side of things. We're always scoring goals. You're not going to get no boring Arsenal thing around here. Like the time when George Graham was Arsenal manager. Boring. 1-0 to the Arsenal. Leeds, we don't set up like that. We set up to keep coming, the fittest team in the league. Keep running, pressing high, working under the genius Marcelo Bielsa, Argentine manager, bringing a different style of football to the Premier League, something that a lot of teams have not seen and find it difficult to cope with. Sometimes we get opened up, but the losses that we have had, like to the scum across the Pennines, the red scum, when they got the 6-2, we had injuries, and we had to cope with those injuries. We did not and do not have a big squad in terms of depth, because you're just coming up to the Premier League now. The whole COVID-19, we had to be responsible in how we went into the transfer market and dipped into the transfer market. So the sort of international class players that you might have wanted to attract, you had to be, I think the manager had to be cautious in his foray into the transfer market. And I think it's only one player that we really wanted that we didn't get. And I hope they get relegated next year. Brighton, they hold out on man side with Ben White. Leg of the youth to Leeds, because he came and played for us last year in the championship and formed a really good central defensive partnership with Liam Cooper. And what we wanted to do was to have that stability and continuity from the championship into the Premier League. And we made him a good offer. We made him a £20 million offer for Ben White. And they held out on us, kept holding out on us. And we had to go, and we got Koch, the German international, as an alternative. But we really would have wanted Ben White to really have the continuity from the championship. So it's been a good season. When you support a team like Leeds, we expect to win some, we expect to lose some, and we expect to draw. We're not wagonists. We don't take up this thing because we are glory hunters. I went to university in Leeds, lived there for 4 years. The city welcomed me. I DJ'd in the main club the main two clubs in Leeds, and the fandom always, the Leeds people always show me love, and they introduced me to the English way of supporting the team, and I felt comfortable. And been a Leeds fan since 1993, 93, 92. So it's years with my side. We struggled with it. We went to Europe. We had all those glory years on the David O'Leary. Um, when you guys were not what you are now. So it used to be Arsenal, Leeds, and Manu, the top three, going to, and Chelsea, you know, bought their way in there with Roman Abramovich and his millions. Um, so we give thanks, and hopefully the glory years are back. Um, with a bit of luck, we might be able to finish in the Europa League places. We're not far off. If a team slips up and loses form, we'll name your food and go to Europe, and that would be some valuable income, additional income to the club. But we definitely have to strengthen the squad. We couldn't go to Europe with a squad like this. Um, we would suffer what happened to Wolverhampton Wanderers when they qualified for the Europa League. You do have a dip in form in the Premier League the next year and flirt with relegation. So that's where the thing is. We've had some Rafinha, Patrick Bamford, Jack Harrison, Calvin Phillips. They've all been revelations in the Premier League. They have transitioned from being um, simply championship players into Premier League caliber players. And certainly in the case of Calvin Phillips, he has made the step up to become a England international, unfortunately, because he really should be a Jamaican international and solve our central midfield problem. But we're caught sleeping on the job and allowed another talented footballer to slip out of the Reggae Boys setup scenario. So he'll be an England international for a while, having taken up the mantle from former Jamaican international Rudolph Austin, you know. And with that, Leeds and Liverpool have something in common. We are one of the few teams in the Premiership. Bolton Wanderers being another. Derby, when Claude Davis was there to have Jamaican internationals playing for them. Liverpool had John Barnes, of course, set the trend, and we had Rudolph Austin, who came and did a nice job for Leeds at the time when we were in the Championship. So that's
Score
where
on
things
Manchester
are.
City. He scored on Manchester City in the FA Cup. I remember that.
Mm, yeah, man. Long range shooting, very hard shooting, hard tackling central midfielder.
People
Um,
love him at Leeds United too.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. You would see the Jamaican flags in the crowd if you were watching the championship there. There'd always be some Jamaican flags where fans hang their flags, and there'd be a couple Jamaican flags waving in the stands at Ellen Road during his time there. He was an adopted son of Leeds. I'm only sorry that I wasn't able to enjoy the ground at that time. It would have been definitely been a pleasure of mine. But big up Rudolph Afton. Anyway, him stand up, as a general from the Reggae Boys and a great ambassador and exponent of football for Jamaica.
Most definitely. But you guys have a very good season. I impressed when you guys coming up in the Premier League last summer. I was so happy after football Leeds United has been playing. Never say die. We see the first game against Liverpool, that 4-3 that
4-3.
Liverpool cracking. Yeah, that was a very good game and they put Liverpool under a lot of pressure. So I expect the similar game come on Monday. They're going to make it really difficult for this Liverpool team. One thing for sure, Liverpool don't want to play against a Leeds United team where they play in the midweek and Leeds United have 1 week to prepare for this game. They're coming off a very good victory over Manchester City. So the confidence will definitely high in this Leeds United team. And I'm expecting a very tough game. I know Bielsa is a very good manager and it will make it so difficult for this Liverpool team. when you look at Leeds United this season, they ups and downs. They do not have a full, I would say, a strong team, meaning like a strong 25-man player where they can jump. But they have some very good players. I know in the summer they will add to that and make them team get better and improvement. And I know them going to give team problem next season. But this game against Liverpool, I am a little bit worried. Yes, Liverpool won 3 game back to back. 3 game in the Premier League. Leeds United, the same too. They have 3 game on the bones coming to this game. So both team not looking good. But when you look at Leeds United performance this season at home, they has won 3, last one, draw one. So that's a very good record for Leeds United at home this season. They last 5 game, guys. So Liverpool last 5 game away from home, won 4 and last one. So not bad, not bad. But head to head coming to this game, I know you're not going to happy with this. Last 5 time Liverpool and Leeds United play, Liverpool has won 4, Leeds in
Mhm.
one draw. So Leeds haven't beat Liverpool last 5 game. But this is stats on paper. Leeds going to make it difficult for this Liverpool team on paper. But what you expect most to see Leeds United do against Liverpool? Do you confident you guys can beat us at home?
All right, so let me say this, right? And we have a serious analytical discussions. It's not a diehard fan and we just say yes, Leeds are gonna win. Argument done. And if you beat me, then you Western Union down with some money that me can buy a round. Because now I need to have to buy the round. If you lose, but on an analytical basis, if you look at the record, for example, it might be a bit deceiving. Those last 4 victories would come in the season that Leeds was relegated and the season before that when
FA Cup.
right, and then there was the season before that when there was some problems when the monetary problems began and Leeds had to really continue being a fire sale of the best talents in Leeds. If you look at that time, our centre back was who? Michael Dewberry, former Chelsea. Um, could have been a Jamaican international as well, but Michael Dewberry is not the fastest centre back and certainly not the best centre back in the world. But the team was on being um, sold off piece by piece to keep the debts afloat because we had to stay in line with the FIFA fair play regulations that Manchester United had reported us informer them at Manchester United, and then they made off with some of the best talents on the cheap, like Rio Ferdinand, Alan Smith. They got those players. We have had a decent relationship with Liverpool. There's no, I mean, there's a professional rivalry because Leeds was at its zenith in the late 70s, and then Liverpool took over afterwards in the early 80s, right? So we've had a professional rivalry, but in terms of um, being a hatred between clubs, that has not been the case. Players have gone both ways. You should say thank you. We sent you Harry QL, who really was a midfield maestro for Liverpool, and players have come in the other direction to Leeds. So we don't really have, as a Leeds fan, we really don't have an animosity towards the cup. It's not there. Our rivals are obviously the scum, who are the fake people in red. Liverpool are the real Reds, right? Those prawn eating rich guys from Manchester. And Huddersfield, the dog botherers. Yep, they are the two. Not even Bradford City, which is close to Leeds, is a real rival. Um, so I think the game will really miss the element of the fans. And both games, that's the saddest part because the Cup and Leeds are two of the most passionate fans. Crystal Palace in the Premier League, those clubs, West Ham, you're talking real passionate fans. from all the rafters. We're always singing, we're always up for it, always behind our team. So I think the biggest damage that COVID did is to make us lose to see the cup, versus the Leeds service crew and the Ellen Road faithful. And that is just the way the cookie crumbles. But I expect an attacking game from Leeds. I think you might need to be so worried about the midweek game that you had, but certainly you have a been bounced out of the Champions League unceremoniously. So you might be coming with a chip on your shoulder. But remember, our players had a very hard fought 2-1 victory over Manchester City last week, with 10 men having to do a lot of running and a lot of defending. So there will be a lot of tired legs. It's not like we had, Sheffield United and 11 men working. So there will be some fatigue from that heroic performance from the Leeds players, especially those in the defensive setup. Calvin Phillips, I think, would be shattered. Um, you know, Luke Ayling on the right back, those players really would be telling, and particularly they've been doing a lot of running all season, right? So I don't expect a cautious game. I think Liverpool leads the 3 points. Can ask us nicely, or we can make life difficult for you. But you guys need the 3 points. We don't. We have achieved our objective. And I understand that some of the players who have been on the sideline might be included in the lead squad. We'll see that tomorrow. But certainly we would be looking to have a good game and an attacking game and an exciting game of football. Um, I don't expect a boring game. I expect the two sides to go at it, and there are players in the side that that have a lot to prove. Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, is fighting for his England place, and so I expected him to put in a good shift, and I expect the I don't know if Jordan Henderson is fit again fully, but
No,
certainly I
he's
expect
not fit yet.
he's not fit yet. So thank God. Because I would be expecting him to try and stake a claim once he gets fit, if he gets fit in the last couple of games, to try and reclaim his place in the center of the English midfield for the national team. But I think young forward Joe Gelhardt, the 18-year-old forward Joe Gelhardt, I think I'm hearing some rumblings that he might get a look in tomorrow, as Marcelo Bielsa tries to give the younger players a run out. So that would be very interesting. That would be very interesting to see if that materializes. And I said people have a chip. I think Calvin Phillips will want to put in a very good game to have his name in the mix for you know to really challenge Declan Rice and James Ward-Prowse in the middle of the field for England. You'd want to get his name in the mix and cement his place. So I'm expecting, even though we are safe, there are players in there who have some to play for. Luke Ayling might want to see if he can make a late push for a right back position, although the right back at in England is very, very deep, a lot of depth. So
Yeah, but the midfielder, I think Gareth Southgate should take him to Euro because when you look at it, Philip has been playing very good for Leeds because Bielsa play with the ball, play out from the back, and England, Gareth Southgate want to do that. So Philip, he has a very good season this season. I think he should include him in this England setup, especially if they want someone to anchor and spray that ball from left to right. He's very good, comfortable on the ball.
I think he's deserving of a call up. I don't hold any beef for England. I'm not an English supporter. I think that part of his call up, I suspect, was a strategy to cap him and take him off the books for Jamaica. All right. I don't think they were expecting Jordan Henderson to be injured, but he was capped before Jordan Henderson was injured. So the where I see him coming into the picture is if John Stones doesn't play as a centre back because John Stones loves to carry the ball out of defense. And so you wouldn't need another player who is carrying the ball out to the defensive third. I think John Stones works better with a Declan Rice, who is more aggressive and snappy um, in the middle of the park. So it comes down to combinations. It comes down to combinations. Um, but as for Monday's match, I think it's a must see. You have two of the more excited. You guys went off the rails. And be fair, Ryan, go on too cheap in that January window. Spend some money. Yeah, that's the I spend some money about to that buy baller from Preston to come play in a
Yeah,
champion league.
yeah, yeah,
What that talk, brother? When me hear Ben White, I swear so when I get Ben White from Brighton, but look like I wrong Ben White, them saying no. Yeah, I wrong Ben White. No, when you can't do that, man. You have to leave them baller there for Burnley and Sheffield United and Newcastle and not even Leeds. We are gonna look on them. Not even Leeds. We are gonna look on them. But those clubs that are near the foot of the table, Crystal Palace and them club there, you can't do that, brother. You Liverpool ought to have invested in a quality centre back, right? Because there clearly is a problem. I understand you wouldn't want to pay the 80 million for like Umpecho and those guys, but there was another level of centre back, the 30 to 40 million range that you could have gone in. Um,
listen,
it was a bad mistake. And then having done that and be in the should I buy, shouldn't I buy, should I buy, and then scrambling on the last day to bring in the two, you took your eye off the ball in terms of the attacking forward line, which you ought to have gotten a fresh pair of legs in there. I know you brought in Diego Jota from Wolverhampton at the start of the season, but as you can see now, some players go off a form. So I would have thought it would have been prudent to have brought in um, somebody who's on form to just in case. As a matter of fact, if they were smart when they went to the championship, and I think that's the distraction of not planning properly for Van Dijk. I think you guys just sat back and just pat yourself on the shoulder about, oh, we got Van Dijk from Southampton without looking to see who else you needed to have bought to shore up that back line, right? And so when they went in the championship, you could have picked up somebody like Ivan Toney, who was hot at the time, rather than a Ben White. I would have cost you just about the same at the time. And when people like Firmino went off the boil, um, and well, you'll always have Salah there, right? But when Firmino went off the boil, you would have had a ready-made replacement to join Mane and Salah on the front line. But I didn't think you needed to get. You don't go in the championship for defenders, not to play in the Premier League and certainly not the Champion League. You can run the risk with um, a forward who the mistakes are not going to cost you. You might miss a goal or whatever, but the mistakes are not going to cost you. But the defenders, those mistakes cost them, my friend. And I think you're you went off the rail. Um, and I don't think they understood the whole issue of a COVID-19 effect. Like, man have to go isolate because them brethren or them granny them come in contact with them or the barber have COVID. It's just a lot of uncertainty. So you have to plan for the uncertainty. If you're looking at the lead side, we at least have an 18-man squad, that 18 players that you would say are good enough to help us there. And you have some of the younger players who come through the academy, who are part of the squad. But our ambitions and the ambitions of Liverpool are different. You're competing on two fronts, in Europe and in England.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the owner, we all know the owner we have. They are very cheap, club. They don't
Tight.
want Kula. Yeah, Koulibaly, club they don't want Koulibaly and stuff, and they didn't give him. They don't want to spend the money, So this is what we have to be facing over the years, and you're definitely correct when you say we go for a Ben White from Preston North End. It could be the one who going to fix our problem. We have a Upamankana out at the time before Bayern Munich buy him. You have Koulibaly, you have so many great defenders
Of
out there.
Kunde.
Yeah, we could have get for 40 million, but they choose not to. They say they're going to wait in the summer. No, this is the time we're trying to defend our title in January, but it still have a chance. Sign the two centre back early enough. Not Kaba, not Ben White. I'm talking about a Upamankana or a Koulibaly at the time. First, remember Virgil van Dijk went down in October. So
October.
we know Van Dijk going to out for the season. We should have made preparation. Couldn't wait on the last. We shouldn't have wait on the last day of January to sign two centre. That's true, and it come down to poor preparation on the owner side because clearly club been telling them, club been crying out in press conference he wants centre back, but he have to have the vision and listen to the coach to know when he wants somebody from when he don't want somebody because Klopp is not a coach who's going to complain and call out the owner like what Jose Mourinho do. He's a different manager. He do it much more different and do it under disguise. You have to know and have the idea what I'm talking about. But we make some big mistake. This is what cost us. But this game against Leeds United has to win it to try to make the top four because we know the type of owner we have. If we don't make Champions League, they're going to say, oh, listen, we don't make Champions League, so we don't have the money to spend in the summer. This is why. This is the reason why we must beat Leeds United and close the gap. West Ham drop points, Chelsea playing the FA Cup, Leicester will play in the FA Cup. So Liverpool win, go on 55 points, close the gap, 1 point behind Leicester City, tie on points with West Ham. So it's important. It's important. And Leeds not going to make it easy for this Liverpool team, especially
No.
coming after that win against Manchester City. So I'm expecting a really, really tough game. But we all know what's happening at Anfield in the first leg. We see they can play football. They're not going to be a pushover. They're going to be a difficult team to play against. And, you know, I hear you talk about few players, key player, who Liverpool should watch out for. And this Leeds United team, we can give them problem. No, you have the striker, Patrick Brentford. He missed a lot of chance. He's the next player who miss a lot of chance too.
But he tucks a few away, and we create a lot of chances. So he's missing the chances. At this one, there's only one Patrick Bamford. One Patrick Bamford. There's only one Patrick Bamford. He's been doing it in the championship, and he's stepped up to the Premiership, and he's banged in the goals. Respect due. Respect. Miss all the goal everyone, miss brother. And bust open the onion bag. Chat them a chat. Right now, Chelsea with a well-worn Patrick Bamford come back. Them two bug with them buy from Germany. We can't even score 2 goals. Let's talk about those things. So we're good around here. And Bamford, a lot of it is because people get on his back and they get in his mind, in his head, right? And sometimes when you get in a player's head, you hesitate. And that 1 second of hesitancy is the difference between a miss or a muffed chance and putting the ball in the back of the net. That's why they tell you when a player is confident and when a player is on form, he tends to score more, you know? Um, and chances that he would normally miss, he doesn't take. So, but a lot of players are like that, right? I remember, I don't know if you're young enough to remember, Pipo Inzaghi at AC Milan,
AC Milan.
right? And for Italy, used to miss a lot of chances, but scores a lot, puts himself in the
Right position.
right position, and with chances and the goals will come, and the goals have come, and he has transitioned and shown that he is a good Premier League striker. Him score more goals than Lacazette.
I
And
would
then man,
love
they have name. And no further forward. We have name in the Premier League. Tammy Abraham. Um, Lots of English ballers, forwards,
but
who have
one thing
name
for
in the
sure.
Premier League.
I would love to have Patrick Bamford at Liverpool to be my striker.
I, I don't know if he would cope with the pressure. I don't know.
No,
I think
yes, he's not going to be the main man. Firmino will be the main man, and when Firmino slipping up and Jota slipping up, he play.
I was telling him and I'll take Ivan Tony.
Yeah.
I think
Next player I
that'd
would
be
have
good.
loved at your team, the Spanish, that guy linked to Liverpool. Liverpool want to
Look here,
purchase him.
there's no link.
Yeah,
Rafinha.
Liverpool. Rafinha. Rafinha coming to Liverpool this
You
summer.
leave Jamaica a long time though. So let me tell you about that cat. That will never happen. That won't happen.
Right.
Such man.
Yes,
When I
they're
now
not
get
selling.
such man. When I now get such man. When I sell such man. Yeah, mad. No, sir. That's the heartbeat of the team, my friend. Fitted in well, and um we really want to build on adding some pieces in, not dismantling. We have been linked with Sergio Aguero. Um, I understand Bales has reached out to his countryman. That was in the one in the newspaper, I think the Daily Mail last week. And so we are on the up. We're not a selling. We're no longer going to be a selling club like the last time when we were in the league, and then sell the best players, and then we go back down to the championship and looking at our rivals. I don't think that's the approach. Leeds, we got lucky with Bielsa. Because Bielsa was a former Argentine national coach. He hurt himself because his back. He has a problem with his lower back. That's why he has to sit down on the bucket, right? And so that I take them out of the game for a bit. But he's come and shown what a master tactician can do. You and I support the Reggae Boys. I'd love to see Marcelo Bielsa coach my side if we could ever afford it.
Yeah, but
Oh gosh.
you know,
But
we we can
you have
afford
a
it.
good coach too, and I take my hat off to Jurgen Klopp, right? One of the better tacticians in the Premier League. Because you have different kinds of managers in the league. Everybody is not a master tactician. Some men are motivators of men.
Yeah,
Some are learning the trade.
a lot
Like
of people
you're,
don't give Klopp, like how you say Klopp is a tactical manager. A lot of people don't give him that. People give him more. He's a good, great man management.
yeah, but you have to be a man manager to manage that level of talent and keep the dressing room happy.
Yeah,
Because the
but
last thing you want
what
is
I'm
unhappy
saying, they give
players.
him more.
Look at
They give him
Jose.
more.
Look at Jose, right?
Mm,
Every dressing room that Jose goes to ends up being a toxic dressing room. Mourinho,
mm.
because he's not able to manage. Because when man play and start and them see them national team players in jeopardy, they want to talk to the gaffer, and the gaffer now take them on. You get a lot of unhappy players. So David Moyes is a brilliant man manager. from the time at Everton. He's able to get the most out of the little that he has, the little resources. I think is it Martinez? He was at he's now at Belgium. I don't know if I get the name right. Martinez, I think he was
He
at
coached
Stoke
Belgium national team.
and he coached the Belgian national team. He was
He
coaching
coached
Everton.
Everton. He coached
Right.
Wigan.
Those Wigan, not Stoke, Wigan.
Wigan.
Those, I mean, those are tactical man. Then they have other men for the job. You have your Roy Hodgson and you have your Sam Allardyce, who are the relegation specialists. And look like him will get relegated for the first time. Sam Allardyce, Big Sam. But you call those men in when you want to build a gritty fight against the drop. You can't call in a club. You can't call in a Brendan Rodgers, right? So they're horses for courses. And then you have the man them that are learning on the job, and developing themselves and transitioning from players to managers. You're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's so bad
Arteta.
because I don't follow other teams.
Arteta.
Arteta at Arsenal. Frank Lampard, it did salt. Um, but they were just trying to learn the game and build a long-term project. So I think Klopp is a tactician. I think Klopp is a man manager, right? And the players would play for him, and that's a good thing because you have some managers that the players wouldn't play for. If you watch the game when Sheffield United went down today, from Sheffield United fire Chris Wilder, the player them stop playing, them stop. No man no one, no man no one go into the 50-50 tackle because they don't want to get injured and then maybe not get a transfer. The better players just playing cautiously because they're trying to look where they can hit the exit door because they have to cut the wage bill. You give up on the season. So you have to be there to motivate men. What's his name at Burnley? Oh Lord, can't remember he's at the Burnley manager,
Sean Dice.
Sean Dice, right? Great motivators of using little bit of resources and less talent to achieve mid-table stability. Eddie Howe was one of those persons, and when they got rid of Eddie Howe at Bournemouth struggled
Mm.
because you have to know what you have. And I think Liverpool has the right manager. Um, you got lucky because you really shouldn't have let go Brendan Rodgers. You should have stuck with the project that he was on. And he came close. He came very close. Except Steven Gerrard had a slip, and I'm not talking the slip that my granny used to wear, right? But um, Stevie G, do your thing, man. You're up and congratulations, and you win the Scottish League, transition and become a fantastic manager, right? So Kenny Dalglish, another great man manager, come out of Liverpool, went to Newcastle, had the Geordies, almost won again. There. So on Monday, I'm not expecting a tactical game. I'm expecting to see war, all out attack.
Better attack
The
with
front
who score
three,
the
the front
most goal
three.
win.
Yeah, man. Who scored the most goal win? That's what I see. I
So what's your
definitely think
prediction?
both sides are going to score at least 2 goals. At least 2 goals.
What's your prediction?
It's not a draw. Um, I think a 2-2 draw. Just because Liverpool has, you guys have gone off this goal scoring radar a little bit. He had gone up,
Yeah.
I think 6 games and not scored at home. That does spell good. That
Yeah.
does that smell like the pot burning. You have to check the fire. See what go on the stove. But yeah. So
I'm going with 3-1
big up
victory.
my Liverpool friends. No man, I have Leeds that score 1 goal, brother. You know right beside, you know respect when. We don't do that 1 goal. So you think of Arsenal you play, buddy? Not Arsenal. This is not Arsenal. Not Arsenal. Not 1-0 to the Arsenal. Leeds. if Leeds score one goal, it really is we're down to 10 men or something. But even with the big losses, we've always scored like 2 goals, but we just let in a lot of goals. And I think we'll address that next year with the defense. But I take the opportunity to big up some of my virgin them, top fans, them, David, Magnus. Yeah, big up yourself, Maggie. The Gate 7 crew from the Reggae Boys, David Magnus. The general for that crew, the Liverpool man. Big up yourself, David. Um, Evroy Johnson, big up yourself. Yeah.
You need to
Sir
share this
Evroy.
with them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And
I will share it to
rest
them.
in peace, Courtney Livingston from AJ Barnett Shipping Company. Passed away a long time, but them on a diehard um, Liverpool fan. When I came to Jamaica, those are the people who adopted me into the reggae boys culture, introduced me to Arnett Gardens. I couldn't go out with the red something, the brother, though. That bun me. Um, but there's a lot of Liverpool supporters in Jamaica. Pick up yourself. And I said we do have a hectic rivalry with Liverpool. Leeds doesn't, and Liverpool doesn't have a hectic rivalry with us. You certainly have a bigger rivalry with Manchester United and with Everton. Um, there, so this is just a game of two good footballing sides, two sides with a lot of tradition, both in terms of England and in Europe. Uh, Meeting for a good game of football, and the best side win. And if you are 3 points off the places, so let me warn you, brother. If you drop the point here today, a problem because West Ham has a little bit of an easy run, and I think they play Sheffield United and another, I think it's West Brom in within the last couple of games. So
We
they,
too,
they
after we play this game, going to our next 7 game is going to be easy. The only team after we play this game against Manchester United, that's the only team we have. Rest of the team they have Newcastle, all of them team they down in the bottom.
well, you have to hope that Newcastle might have made themselves safe today, right? But not mathematically safe. So you have to hope that they're not looking over their shoulder when they come to you. And then I think you also have to look at the other team has to lose. You have to get a team to lose to drop points, and then you gain points. Hope for no more injuries, um, because that can really set you back. But it's going to be tough. And when you play Manchester United, that's going to be a Champion League 6 pointer. You know, whoever dropped the ball, looking at a multi-million-dollar drop, and I think it'd be devastating for Liverpool because you guys have the owners have dropped the ball because they were penny wise and pound foolish. They should have spent the 40 million for Kunde, or Unpecho. I don't think you'd have gone up and spent like a 70 million for Koulibaly from is it Napoli? Did you
Yeah.
play for?
I would do one Ben
Right?
White. I would do one Ben White, man.
Ben White is an excellent defender. The
Yeah,
right Ben White. The
that
right
fit
Ben White. Or
in this Liverpool team.
you could have and should have targeted. Let me tell you some names. Could have gone to Burnley, James Tawarski, or Ben Mee, who are former England internationals. You
But
could have
they
you could have raided Brighton for someone like Lewis Dunk, big
yeah, but
tall defender who would have give you a
problem
like for like replacement with Virgil van Dijk, and you
what
could have
was
go ahead.
what's the problem with these defender like the Burnley and the um Dunk who play for Brighton? Liverpool play at a high. They always push up high, and all of these names you're calling, they are not fast to defend one on one.
No, that is true. That is true. But you have to. Van Dijk is not only fast, but he's tall and has a strong aerial presence. So those players would have given you that aerial presence that you lost with Van Dijk. Lewis
Understand?
Dunk and Van Dijk. Lewis Dunk is taller than Van Dijk. I think Lewis Dunk is 6'5". My maths is correct. Watch other people, man. You know what people man so. But I know he's a big, tall defender. Um, but yeah, others. You could, I mean, not at the same level and caliber. Flimore 2K or whatever his name is, who Chelsea sold to a club in Italy, Flicuri or
Um,
whatever his name is.
yeah, he playing for AC Milan,
AC
Chelsea
Milan
loan.
loan him out, right?
Yeah, he was
You could
playing
have
in the championship last season.
right. You could have bought him.
The Tory.
You could have bought him. So if you wanted a fast strike, a quicker defender, you know. But let's see. It's an exciting end to the season. Certainly in the top half. Exciting end to the season. So
Yeah, most definitely. But guys, I just want to tell you, thank you very much for watching. If you're near Rooney, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And Mr. Blake, I appreciate you 100%. We need to do a few more videos, especially on the reggae boys, because big things looking good for the reggae boys. And let's hope can get couple international friendly and stuff, and let's just can do we think we have a great chance to do well in the Gold Cup and World Cup qualifier coming up. That's going to be massive with the English based player and the MLS and the local player. We have a very good team, especially the English based player coming to the team now. Is going to put a lot of challenge on some of the player them playing for the Reggae Boys for a good while, but a good mixture, especially
definitely.
impress it more. A few player impressed in the last game against United States, and that's never Jamaica's strong team, and they play very good against United States. So we expect Jamaica to play well, and the Gold Cup coming up, we're not going to face the United States or the Mexico
Mexico.
until we meet them in the final. That's the
Beat
only
them in the
time.
final, not meet them. Beat them in the final.
Beat
So
them in the
in the
final.
final, that's
Anything
right.
you said, Reggae Boys
Yeah,
fan.
man.
So,
And so, you know, that's a two big club. And I think they're marching on together. We're gonna see you win. We are so proud. We shout it out loud. We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Hashtag MOT, marching on together. Hashtag A Law. Always Leeds, always will be. That's our thing there.
all right. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Until next time, my boy Ryan LFC. I like to say peace out. Thanks for watching. Stay put.